Uh-oh.
No way. Well, he's recording it, so he can send you the episode.
Oh, cool. All right, so we'll do it like that then.
He is recording it. Remember,
right.
I said the session? Oh, but when they get off,
Yeah, that's
it's
like,
not going to record.
But I'm sorry, that might be using. All right, well, I mean, it is what it is. Let's go.
Can you record?
Let's keep us troubleshooting in the intro. Let's go. Go ahead.
Can you
Brainstorm with me.
So you're recording right now?
We're live right now.
Okay, so let's brainstorm, guys. Ready?
Let's brainstorm.
Ready?
Let's go.
We're
Let's
thinking
go.
IT, circuit breakers. Where are we going with this?
Default. Let's go to the intro. Buckle up.
Battle to the death, fighting till I take my last breath, till there's nothing left, till this flesh, till this past tense. Got up on the fence, henceforth this and that. I was lost, now a friend, now a force with the pen for the Lord.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Marrio Esco Live. Let me get the.
Or are you?
Welcome. I am your host, Marrio Esco, and alongside me is my good friend, co-host Gil Vargas.
What up?
Wifey, better half, Samy Esco in the building.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, you wasn't expecting
Getting
the
better.
Hi.
Getting better, baby. Shout out to our people. Shout out to our listeners. YouTube was good.
Hola.
Facebook, Twitch, Periscope, Spotify, Apple, Google, Podbean. Check out d2lproductions.com.
It's a good idea.
New merch available there. New music on the way. I gotta be careful. On the way.
Why?
New music because I can't.
Well, we playing some new music today.
advertise. Oh, dope! Yeah, that's true.
That's a fact.
And we can make it available on the website.
We can.
Actually, true. All right. Hand claps for Gil.
Hand claps.
Check
for
out
saying
Me
something
Live.
we should have done from the get. Hand claps for him.
Check out
What
Me
great
Live
business
Picks
practices he has.
on Spotify. Today, one of our featured tracks won't be available on there. It will be available on d2lproductions.com by the end of this week. I'll make sure that it gets on there. Hit up 774-243-0385. Leave a prayer request. Say what's up. I always say we're going to open the lines, but we haven't done that in a minute, so I won't say that.
I'd love to say it.
How about that?
But you know what?
Recap.
By golly, I won't.
All right, we can get rid of these claps. Recap.
So why is the number there?
Last episode. Stop.
It's going to be like, doo-doo-doo, this number has been
Episode 163.
But we'd like for you to call it anyway.
Hold up. My buddy and me. Actually, we talked about King Cobras, which I'm excited about today. We got special guests that I'll announce in a little bit, but we talked a little bit about King Cobras, our experience
Episode
there.
1 is out. Go
Facts.
watch it.
We'll talk about it. And then what else we talk about, man? Andy Mineo.
Yep. Talked about Chucky, clearly.
Kanye West, Donda. What else we talking about? I don't know how we got onto barbering, but we talked.
Yeah, man.
And Britney Spears. Listen, I don't know. Featured tracks, Andy Mineo, It Could Be Worse, and Cortez Wait featuring Evan Ford. Super, super dope track, by the way. That track was fire.
Yeah, man.
And I'm excited to get started right away, man. Let's get the hand claps back.
Let's get it.
We got special guests today in the building. Representing Puerto Rico, Boston-based filmmakers, not only brothers in Christ, but also brothers as in siblings to one another.
We need to get like a Chuleta award.
It's an honor to have Jonathan and Xavier Garcia in the building today with us. Brothers, was good, man.
Hey.
Pioneers. Pioneers.
Truly an honor, brothers. Truly thankful to have you guys on the show.
Thank you for having us, man. Yeah.
You know, the first time I heard of you guys, I thought at one point I was the only one with ideas about Christian comedy, like kind of edgy, kind of ideas. I'm like, man, this got to be, we were on the way to film it and everything. I wrote the script and all that, and then that just kind of like I don't know what happened there. We started the live. I think we shifted. We started the podcast, I think, and then we kind of like lost our way with the whole film making and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden we get hit up by Dan Rosario. Shout out to Dan Rosario.
And we started with skits. We did a bunch of skits. Yeah, we were doing
skits too. Yep.
So we started finagling with that, and that's kind of what actually directed us towards like, yo, what if we did an actual full length like Christian comedy with some action in it, like really edgy, but yet it's very powerful in the word. And lo and behold, there was two brothers
that were already. So tell us, how was comedy always part of your journey too with the filmmaking, or was just something new that you guys came across recently?
That's actually a great question, because Jonathan and I have been like itching to do comedy for the longest time, because you just. Now, for the people that know us and know us really well, they know that, like joking around and just cracking jokes and just like being funny is a part of our everyday thing. Like humor is just a part of our lives. It was essentially humor that got us through like, our childhood. We have a very interesting, story to tell as far as, like how we came to Christ. And so humor was kind of like what kept us, sane, I guess, if you will. And so, but I don't know. We've always done drama. We started off like one of our first short films was Armor of God, which was a drama piece, and it was a short film, regarding the Ephesians, the armor of God, and how that manifests in the life of a police officer. And it's a really gritty, crime story about a man that's holding himself hostage, and there are two officers, and they answer the call of duty. One of them is a rookie cop who does things by the book. The police book, and the other one is a veteran cop that is like, knows the Lord, and he does things by the holy book, God's book. And so you see how they each address the situation very uniquely and very differently when this man is like got a gun to his face. And so like that was our first short. And then from there, we went on into doing something where like, okay, well, that was like really gritty. That was contemporary. Let's go and do something that's biblical. So we went and we did Crossroads, and Crossroads is the story of the two disciples on the road to Emmaus. And so which was cool about that was that we were able to add our own dialogue into that and play a little bit, with the conversation that the two of them had on the way as they just experienced this like major like heart drop. It's like, oh, Jesus died. Like, okay, well, there goes that, and that story. And then from there, we're like, okay, so we did the biblical thing. Now what do we do? Where do we go from there? And so that's when we actually, correct me if I'm wrong, Jonathan, a Blood Throne was after that?
Yeah. Blood Throne was right after that. Right after Crossroads.
I mean, we've been completely left. He's like, maybe we should do comedy. Now let's do Blood Throne.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Spears and swords.
Throne, and the Blood Throne is like, we were like, okay, we want to do something a little bit more than just a quick short film like that, that 12-minute piece. And so a Blood Throne, we were going for like a 40-minute, short film, which is a terrible idea. If you're a filmmaker, don't ever do that. It's unprogrammable.
Film,
yeah, you just can't program that at film festivals. But we did it anyway. And that was a story where we juxtapositioned the relationship between King Herod and his youngest son Antipas, whom we know as the famous Herod that is the one that's essentially responsible for the death of Messiah. And then we juxtaposition that with the relationship between Joseph and baby Jesus, and as a stepfather and a son, and then the father of who is the king of Judea, and his son who's next on the throne. And there's just showing just kind of the process of betrayal, because what ends up happening, that as we know from history, is that King Herod the Great goes insane thinking that his sons are trying to steal his throne, and he murders them one by one by one by one. Wow. And then on top of that also goes out and tries to murder the children, that are 2 years and younger. And so you've got that story. And then but then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got this father who thinks his wife betrayed him, Mary, because here she's pregnant and he hasn't, slept with her. So it's like the story of dealing with betrayal, you know, and the perceived and perception of betrayal, and how a man in the world, Herod, handles it versus a man, you know, led by the Holy Spirit, Joseph, handles it. And he handles it by embracing the woman whom he probably still thinks, you know, he has no idea, you know, cheated on him, and embraces her and takes care of her, keeps all of it quiet, you know, and brings, you know, and rears this son that isn't his.
And this
so
is all
that's
still
kind of
Blood
really
Throne?
interesting story. Yeah, it's a Blood Throne. Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
Wow. So you guys go to several different extremes. You guys are like, that sounds very intense, man. I'm like, man, already getting goosebumps hearing you talk about it.
When we were little, I mean, all we did was comedy videos. Like we had a puppet named Pepito. I mean, every puppet you have is named Pepito. And we would like do like facial expressions with him, and like we would do scenes and movies, and to the point where all through high school, we even did videos where our high school teacher still has our videos. Like he's like, I'm keeping these. And what we did was we used comedy to try to get, you know, our school like projects done. So we use movies instead of people doing posters. We would create movies like
instead of writing papers.
Try to
cool.
basically pass the class with our movies to say, hey, this is the story of the Harlem Globetrotters, and we would just make a comedic movie of us shooting balls and making dribbles and something silly, and the teacher would love it, and the whole class would laugh, and here's everyone showing the poster while we're rolling in a TV in class and throwing in a tape. And so that's how we always did it. Everything we did movies.
Wow. Yeah. So you guys already had that filmmaking spirit from youth. When you guys
I mean, I tease this. I say, you know, we've been writing. I've been writing since I was like 6 years old, like 7 years old. You know, like those blue books that they give you when you're in elementary school. They're like, here, write, here's your journal, write about what you did in recess, you know. And while kids were saying, over the weekend, I ate Play-Doh, you know, like I was writing, you know, it's like the story of, you know, I always say I wrote the original Born Identity, you know. It's like, I wrote the story called Identity Lost.
At 6.
In my little blue book, I had like 8 journals of it. My mom still has it, actually, so I've got the proof somewhere in my mom's house. But yeah, but then for some reason, drama was just kind of like the way that we dealt with the drama of our own past, you know, and just kind of like we put it on screen, just to kind of like talk about some really dramatic events, and all of them connected to biblical moments and how just like a man of faith deals with those things. And then from there we did Underground, which was our most recent short film, which is an 1850s period piece that we filmed in Salem, Massachusetts. And then we were like, okay, I think it's time. I think it's time for a comedy. I think it's time for King Cobras.
Yeah, I think the great thing about it too is whenever we've done these movies that really feel like they're all in different like times and periods, and they're all very different, but they've been so important in the season that we've been making them.
Wow.
For instance, you mentioned Xavier Armor of God, and during that time was the beginning of the, you know, the black versus the police officer tension, and we created this movie not knowing this, and we entered in, and it was almost like it was a preaching tool to explain that this is a bigger problem than just a skin problem. This is a sin problem, and the movie touched on that, and people were watching. They're like, hey, wait a minute. You know, this has answers for me. And then going on from that was, you know, Crossroad for us, which was another moment that was so pivotal in that time that we were in. So every time
we were at a crossroad of ourselves at that point too, because we've always done, I'm classically, you know, like my degree is in theater and theater design, and we were doing a lot of theater through the church. And then at that time we were also doing film, and Crossroad came at a time where we had to choose, are we going to continue theater or are we going to continue film? And so that was that one.
Wow.
So just adding to what Jonathan was saying, they've all been connected to like specific and unique moments in our time. And I think right now with King Cobras, we're at such a volatile time where there's so much tension, and people are just like at each other's throats for the simplest of things, you know, like literally just issues of identity. And immediately I want to like chop you down. Right. And so we were like, look, I think we're at a time where we all just need to kind of come together and laugh. blow off some steam by just coming together and laughing. And I think Jonathan said this best. He said, Xavier, I think that it is through comedy that we're going to be able to, kind of feed a message of faith and a message of hope in a way that isn't antagonistic to the hearer. And I think with comedy, we're able to just kind of open up, loosen up, and hear and listen and actually dialogue and have a conversation about these things. And so
it's a saying. Yeah, it's a saying. A little laughter lets the truth go down easier. I think it's something like that. But that's really the idea that we had with this, where in reality there still are truths, and they're these godly truths that we have to reveal to the world. But how do we do it when there's so much tension and people just don't want to hear about God, or they don't want to hear about these basic things that God instituted? Well, let's introduce it with laughter and let it go down gently, and then they'll be like, that wasn't so bad.
So was that the original concept that started the beginning of the concept of this story, or did you already have the concept of the story in mind? Did one of you already have this idea of this pastor starting this men's group, years before you guys even presented this idea?
Yeah, so kind of both at the same exact time, right? It's like Jonathan had the idea, right? He's like, hey, I think this is just a cool concept and a funny concept. And at that same time, we were like, wait, this isn't just a cool concept, just a funny concept. This is a timely concept. This is
perfect timing. Yeah.
This is perfect. Let's roll with this right now. Let's flesh it out. Let's build it.
I love it, man. I love it. So I have a clip. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to play real quick. This is when the pastor is preparing, getting ready for the men's group before the men show up. He knocks out and he wakes up to the group of men that he'll be starting the men's group with. So here we go.
Let's go get some chica. Where Hey, where the hell?
Where my ladies at? I'm sorry, guys, but this is a men's group.
¿Qué? Vámonos. Este huevo, Master, you have a pretty mouth.
Hey, man.
No, man, wait. Maybe they come at the end. Right, Pastor? I'm trying to get you people, but nobody's coming for no Bible study.
Well, at least it's food.
Mira, ¿y la empanada?
Not, bro. Let's get out of here, man. I came for the grub.
Que dona. Este pastor una porquería. Nacho.
Next time?
No, hombre, que mata. Yo, I didn't notice the laugh until just
That's
now.
He really laughed right there, man. I think that was a genuine laugh, man.
Un hambre que mata. Shoot.
So how'd you guys feel about Gil's improv anyway? I don't mean to put you guys on the spot, but
it was great.
Dan told us, you got to meet these guys. They're hysterical. These are the only guys I know that can make me laugh hysterically. And when you guys came and when we met you guys, I just saw how alive you guys were, just together, just you guys together were just that you fused you guys were both just.
It's almost like you guys were brothers.
And when you guys were, you guys are delivering lines and improving. Xavier and I was like, just let it go. Let it go. It's so fresh. The thing about it too is as a writer, you have the idea of what's a good bit. You set up a good bit and the delivery, the punchline, all that stuff. But you forget about the improv moments that come in and can just enrich in the scene. And that's what you guys did. And it was awesome. Yeah. And there was no way we were touching any of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it was great because you guys were free to be the characters. We worked really hard in forming these characters. And I remember having some in-depth conversation with you guys about, the character and the character development process and who are they, who is their past, how would I respond to a certain moment? And you guys did the work. You guys put in the work. We were talking off air, Marrio, just about how focused you guys were, how concentrated you were in your character and then responding correctly and being in the moment. that you actually didn't even see some of the peripheral things that were going on. And so you guys were free to be yourselves. And I think because you did that, it brought really enriched just kind of a truthful performance, and everybody was able to be those characters. And you see it. It's like we didn't have very many rehearsals. If anything, we actually like met. We rehearsed a little bit right before we kind of came together. I think our first AD took you up to the side. You guys ran some lines. You did some improv games and things like that. Yeah. And then boom, you guys were like in it. You guys were like family.
Yeah, the group was great, really man. Shout out to the whole crew, by the way.
Shout out to the cast and crew.
Yep.
Cast and crew were amazing. Like, there was never a time where I didn't feel like cared for. You know what I mean? Like, everybody was constantly, "Are you all right? Did you eat? Do you want some water?" Like, da-da-da. Like, just on it. I was like, dang, these people.
Even up into the prayer. Like, before we go into stuff, like when we close out, like just that whole experience of coming together and hearing you brothers pray.
I would say that was my favorite part, was feeling like, wow, all these people honor God. Like, even in the fact on how they work.
Even the makeup artist. Yo, shout out to the makeup artist, man.
Shout out to the makeup artist as well.
Telling us the same thing, how she goes around with like Christian films, like opportunities.
I've never experienced that. You know, I've been on sets, but to be in a place that's driven by God,
it's a different experience, man,
and completely engulfed by God, and the purpose is God.
Yeah,
like even the little details is like, yo, make sure all that stuff is clean, because we should leave it cleaner than how we got here. If it was dirty when we got here, then we should leave it cleaner than it was. Yeah. And I was like, yo, those are little things that you don't even think about, because you're just like, all right, we're here to film. Let's make sure we get these shots. Shots is king. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
But nah, they were like, yo, let's pause for a quick second. Yep, we're here to have fun. We're here to do this. We're here to do that. But remember, this is also our testimony. And I was like, wow.
Beautiful,
that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see that. And that's beautiful, man. I applaud you guys.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, it was a good experience, man. Even, like I said, going back to the prayer thing, man, like, leading in that way, I know that it's not an easy thing just to be a director telling people what to do, managing people, telling them to stay quiet in the back, don't talk. You know, you guys are doing, a lot of things. At times you got to put your foot down and get everybody in order. And I know it's tough, but then to also lead spiritually with prayer too as well on top of that, like, I know that's tough too. You know, there's times where I even like, if I have to get called out to pray in front of a group of men, like sometimes I'm like, oh shoot, pressure's on. I get anxiety. I'm like, sweating. I'm like, all right, but so props to you guys, man, for holding it down that way. Now, do you guys get any like criticism or anything like that for the work that you do as well? Like, is it all support, or do you guys get, every now and then somebody has a problem with the way you guys do things or anything like that? Godly. Yeah. Like, how do you address those concerns? When they come your way,
Jonathan and I, it's actually, that's a phenomenal question, right? You'll always have your trolls. But beyond that, I think Jonathan and I have kind of settled in our hearts that we're just going to make the stories that to us, like resonate to us, the stories that we think are great, the stories that we would want to go to the cinema and watch. Like, we're not necessarily trying to force any kind of agenda. We're not trying to force anything down anyone's throat. We're just making the stories that we want to see, that we think are great, that are fun, that are cool, that are hype and exciting. And we always say that from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, right? And so it's like, amen. It's about what we're putting in on the day-to-day, when we're at home with our families, with our spouses and our children, when we're in our churches. It's like, that's just going to speak. And so we're not necessarily forcing anything into our writing. We're not forcing anything into the visuals. We're just making great stories, and we're, surrounding ourselves with people that want to make great stories too, despite, creed, faith, but at the end of the day, we're going to lead, and the sets, for example, the way that we lead our homes, the way that we lead our lives, the way that we lead our wives, and so like, it's more, so at the end of the day, it's like, if they're going to attack the content, it's like, well, all right, cool. If you don't like the story, you don't like the story, we're here to make the stories that, I really wish this was up on the cinema, and no one's making it, so I'll make it.
Right. I hear you, man.
Our content's always been very edgy. Always.
Yeah.
It's always been very edgy. Even when it was theater, we've had people, run out of our theater plays and accuse us of things and stuff like that. And it's just the way it is. But at the end of the day, one of the things that we make sure we're rooted on is the word. And number two, that we don't glorify the wicked. Mm-hmm. So we don't glorify the things that go against God. We give it attention. We give it reality. We want to make it real, because if we don't want to create caricatures of wicked people, then that's just like any other, Christian movie that's out there, that no one will believe that, let's say, a non-believer would act that way. That I don't, they'd watch themselves like, of course I'm not going to accept that message because that's not me. But if in our more dramatic films, when they see someone and the storyline's like, wow, I actually feel bad for the bad guy, or I can understand and sympathize with his message. Like, that will connect better with a non-believer, even though it's edgy, because they'll be able to see, wait a minute, now I can understand why I need the gospel. And so that's always been our style of filmmaking. It's not, I wouldn't say it has a faith component, but it wouldn't be faith-based, but more so parabolic, where you're showing a story and you're bringing a real story together for them to, in the hopes that the Holy Spirit will reveal to them the truth. So we're putting it on God to do the
parable.
job.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I'm going to say to like kind of add to what you guys are saying, like, the gospel is edgy.
I was just gonna say, man, like
the gospel,
if you just read your Bible,
edgy.
Read the books of Judges, man.
So there's really no way you can like blunt it all the way. Like, no matter what, you're gonna get cut on that knife as you're trying to sharpen it. Like,
the best script writer that ever lived.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's offensive, and even Christ said it himself. They're going to hate you because
the best
of me.
Storyteller ever. Yeah,
he declared it before.
Drama, suspense, murder. Like, dude, you look at the whole thing, man.
Love.
Look at
it's got it all.
Love, sacrifice. Yeah. Man, you look at the whole thing. Like, I don't know about you, but I see things visually. So as I'm reading the Bible, I'm visualizing like a movie. I see that like a movie screen. You know what I mean? And if you actually bring the gospel to life on a movie screen, you're gonna cover your kids' eyes. You're gonna be like, oh,
and the thing is,
you might cover your own eyes. You might, oh man, hold on.
You guys found a way.
That's Bathsheba? Hold on a second. No wonder why David stumbled, man. What is this?
Hey.
I'm sorry, baby. No, wifey's here, by the way. Wait, baby. Let me see your hand at least so people can see.
Right there's the epitome of live right there.
Jeez. Be in agreement. You understand.
Is that Bathsheba? Hold on. No.
But like, honestly, like, you can't, the gospel is offensive no matter how you put it. The fact that you guys were able to take something that was very gruesome, very real, and powerful, but make you kind of like receive that message but giggle a little bit. You know what I mean? And I'm referring to the piñata part. Like, he's the piñata. And
can you leak that?
Oh, episode 2. That's episode 2.
Oh, is it?
You know what I'm saying?
That's all right.
I'm just saying, like, like that's,
don't give too much away.
That's no matter how you put it, it's a powerful message. No matter how you wrap it up, somebody's gonna be like, "Wait, what? Somebody died for me? What do you mean? Why did he have to die? Like, couldn't he just been forgiven? Like, why?" That whole explanation of the whole process of Christ and him having to die to, satisfy the wrath that God has in store for all of us, because even if we sin just once, like, you know what I mean? Like, because we have to be perfect. That is the requirement to get to heaven, and you will never have that perfection. So Christ gives you that perfection by sacrificing his perfection on the cross and then rising on the third day. Like, how can you take that message?
Preach it, brother.
And be like, you know what? We're going to make this PG. So really, he got nailed to some pillows. It was real comfortable. He actually fell asleep. They had to wake him up with a jab. You know what I mean? That's really why they were poking him. They were trying to wake him up. He was so comfortable. Like, you have to distort the whole entire message in order to make it soft. And you guys kind of found a way to do that.
Well, just from a filmmaking perspective, like, as a filmmaker, you always have an audience. I mean, I know people out there that don't like Christopher Nolan. right? You know what I mean? And like, it's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
You know, there are people out there that just don't, that don't like, you know, Tarantino, and it's Tarantino. And so like, we know that there's also an audience that want to see and hear what it is that we have to say. And it's just it's on us, right, to make it excellent. Like, that's our responsibility, to making it an excellent delivery, an excellent, and I'm talking like not just visually beautiful or audio, but like just the layers, you know, the layers of content and context built into the story, so that it is just a beautiful piece of art. That's on us, and so like that's why we're constantly trying to better the craft.
I have a 2-part question going off of what you just said, and then I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time, but for the up-and-coming filmmaker who's Christian, what do you say to the one that is not in a position to be making films versus the one that is in a position to be making films? Like how? Okay, so there's the one, somebody who's aspiring filmmaker but doesn't have the budget to make the films that they're trying to make, but you want to serve with excellency. So what would you say to the one that doesn't have the budget, has the desire to do it, but he can't make it happen?
Or you can't afford it at the moment.
I think you got like 2 questions there, or there were a couple of really.
Yeah, I'll ask the second. I'll ask the second one, but this is the first part. First part is this dude don't got a budget, but he wants to get in. He's hungry to get in, and maybe he's thinking about getting a loan. Or maybe he's thinking about asking mama or daddy for $50,000, $20,000 because he's trying to make this film. What do you say to the one that doesn't have the budget, but he's itching to do it and he wants to glorify God with this?
So like, look, we were raised in the generation of Blair Witch, right? Like, that was a couple of kids in the woods with a camcorder that belonged to one of their dads, and like, they make this movie in the woods, and the next thing you know, it gets picked up by a major distributor and it turns into like this huge success story, right? Like, at the end of the day, if you've got a great story, you've got a great story, tell it. Look, everybody has a phone. Everybody has a phone, you know, like, you got your iPhones that can shoot now HDR, right? Like, you can make a great story with whatever it is that you have around you. Like, really, it's if your passion is in storytelling and in filmmaking, you will find a way. And if it means, you know, borrowing from your parents, or, you know, or not, you're just making it with what you have in hand. It's kind of like, let's bring it back to the Bible. It's like, what do you have in your hand? Right? You know, like Moses, you've got a rod, use it, part the waters. You know, David, you've got a slingshot, use it, take out the giant. It's like, you got an iPhone, use it, make a movie. And if that is your calling, and that is like, you've got the right story to tell, you're going to find a way to tell it. Like, if your creation is in you, like, be creative then, and get it out and get that story out. It doesn't matter, you know, like, if you're truly a storyteller at heart and you're a filmmaker at heart, you're not really going to care who sees it. It's like, it's one of those things that's like, it's a beating pulse inside. You got to get it out. Like, it's like a monster that's trying to get out. Creativity just wants to get out.
You're firing me up right now. I'm about to start filming with my phone right now.
I think you said it best, Xavier. I think it's really about what your arms can reach, where your hands can reach, because, you know, limitations are actually a good thing, because it really grounds your story,
forces you to be creative,
and forces you to be creative with what you have. And you actually think of new ideas. You think outside the box from what everyone else does. So, you know, what do you have? Who can you reach? Who can you ask? What friends can join you? What do you have at home? I have a camera. Okay. Well, which friends of yours would like to be behind the camera? Which friends would like to be in front of the camera? Work with what you have and build that story, because that grows faster than you asking for money, you reaching out to resources that you can't maintain and you've never worked with before, and you don't know how to run and how to lead it or tell them what to do. So at least you have your friends, the things that are around you that you know how to work with and communicate.
I mean, I'll give you 2 examples. Like Martin Scorsese, for example, he started in New York with all of his New York friends. That's how he started filmmaking. You know, like Marty started with all his, so that's why, and he grew with them. That's why Pacino's in all his films. Those are all his, you know, his New York friends.
Same thing with
Robert
Adam
Rodriguez.
Adam Sandler. Yep, with his crew. You always see them.
Yeah, and Robert Rodriguez even more so. I mean, before he did Desperado, he did, what was that, Once Upon a Time in Mexico or something like that. And he did that with $20,000, a feature film.
Wow.
And now he's like, he's Robert Rodriguez. So like, just start with what's at your reach, and as long as your story is great, then you're going to be able to do, you're going to be able to do wonders.
That's beautiful.
And it comes down to story.
That's beautiful. You guys' answer was packed. And I have one more. The flip side of that question is, what about the filmmaker who's been making film for the last 10 years? He's tired, he's burnt out, but he's gifted. And maybe he should be using that gear to make film. But he's at a crossroads, if you will. Should he put it down, take a year off and come back to it, or should he be obedient, stick with it, keep going?
I would say, if it's a calling, if you've been called by God to do it, it doesn't matter whether you put it down or you stop, or it doesn't matter what you do, because it'll come to fruition.
Amen.
Because it's what God put in you to fulfill. And so that burning will always come back, because God, the Holy Spirit, will put it back into you. So you can, I've been burnt out. I remember back in 2012, it was a major crossroads where we were in, where we had another actually business partner that was with us. And we're all like, we want to enter into films. No, but we want to do commercial work, because we had an agency. We had actually a contract with an agency, and they were just giving us jobs like crazy. And we knew this isn't our passion. We don't want, even though we were working with companies like Saucony, Hologic, even IBM was sending us projects for their expos and stuff like that. And so it was great. I mean, we were getting a lot of money.
You guys hiring?
We were burnt out. We were burnt out.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we realized, I know that God called us to do something. We've been doing it since we were kids. And that moment, we realized we have to take a leap of faith and trust that we'll get everything and be able to have everything that we need to get it done. So it's really, if it's a calling, if you're led by the Lord that told you to do this, be at peace, because you are going to fulfill that what you called it, as you step into it by faith.
Yeah, and the whole process is about the journey too. We can't take the journey out of the equation, right? Because at the end of, you said 10 years, right? It's like those 10 years have been a building up. I'm reminded of the children of Israel, like meandering about and wandering in the wilderness. Like that should have been a 4-day journey.
Right.
That turned into a 40-day journey. Were they not called to make it into the promised land? Yeah, absolutely. So is this person called to make that film? Yeah, absolutely. But there perhaps maybe some things that need to die or burn away. Some things along the way, perhaps that need to be strengthened. Maybe there are some things that he needs to grow in, some new things he needs to learn, something that he needs to put down and put away. We've learned that ourselves. There's a bunch of, we haven't made our feature film yet. There's plenty of learning for us along the way, and like we've been growing, and we thought we were ready yesterday. We thought, but as we've been prayerfully approaching this, saying, no, we want to make something excellent. We've been going up those baby steps road and just being faithful with like the baby step that's in front of us. It's like, okay, how can we make this step right here as best as we possibly can? Let's not worry about where we, like the 10 steps ahead if we're like stumbling and falling over ourselves at the step that we're at. And so it's about that journey. It is take that journey into consideration and be grateful that you've even been on it, because like in this medium, like this is tough. Art in general, you guys know, as musicians, as artists.
I mean, it's crazy to me how you guys are talking about filmmaking, and I'm able to understand exactly what you're talking about in every kind of way.
As far as artistry, but the language is the same.
Right, right. Even to that point of you guys desiring to honor God with just excellency, like that's something that Gil and I strive for. And sometimes, it may not be on the exact path that everybody likes or everybody wants, because art is very fluid. Art, you can express different things in different ways, and that crosses over to any kind of art. That can be songwriting to even, playing an instrument, or in your case, filmmaking. You know what I mean? So I'm hearing a lot of similarities in what you're talking about with our journey. And I know what you mean. It's like almost there was a time where I hit like this stump on the road, and I kind of like slowed down musically. Yeah. And then, the Lord kind of shattered my ambition, if you will. And it was this, time in my life where I needed to learn some things, and I was getting humbled by the Lord. And then he gifted me with a different creative ability that I didn't know that I had previously. But it took me going through that trial in my life to unlock that talent, that gift. I didn't even know that was there. I was like, oh man, I can, go different places with this. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, profound hearing you guys experience a similar journey with filmmaking. It's like, wow, this is crazy. In a lot of ways, looking at your past films is like us looking at our past albums and our past music. You could see yourself gradually getting better at storytelling. You could see yourself doing better, everything, like upgrading everything. Do you guys experience the same thing? Like over time, you start upgrading the cameras, maybe start learning different techniques with storytelling with the cameras and stuff like that?
100%. I mean, we're students of the craft, and we always
learning.
Even the greatest of greats are always going to say they're students of the craft, always learning, always growing, always maturing. There's always going to be new technology. There's going to be something new to like step into. I mean, right now, the big thing with VR and Unreal Engine 5, like that's completely revolutionizing filmmaking.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen The Mandalorian and that show, that series. It's like, it's all,
it's like
TV
in that
screens behind.
Dude, it's not green screen, it's actual screens. And it like interacts with the coloring and everything, and man.
And so like the industry right now is going through a major revolution or in a change, and so it's like you're always going to be a student of the process. And at the end of the day, like the one thing though that remains the same is the storyteller within you. If you've got great stories to tell, and you can tell them, and you know how to tell them, you'll find the means, you'll find the way to tell it. Something I've been talking to, Jonathan about a little bit, just as I've been like studying a lot and just studying to be a better storyteller. I've learned that that filmmaking or just storytelling in general is how we grapple with the reality around us. It's like from the earliest of times when we're, sitting around a campfire and we're telling the story of the hunt. It's like, and so I went out and I got the bison by the horn. Everybody's learning now, and they're like, oh, so the way to kill the bison is this way. And like, that's just the purpose and role of storytelling, for us to pass it on and to grow and grapple with like the ever changing, ever evolving world around us. So to bring it back to King Cobras, we were like, look, we're all just trying to like get a handle of what's going on right now. This is just such a confusing and wild season. Like these last year and a half, this COVID, like Jubilee time, like it's been a weird like stoppage. And we were like, we need to create something that helps us grapple with what's going on. And that's where the idea of even Pastor Alejandro came about, a man that has so much patience and so much love, even in the face of such great opposition from people like very common, very normal, very confused men.
Right.
And they bring and they vomit their problems and they throw their baggage on him, and he responds with turning the other cheek constantly with love and with patience. And so until Stupito like freaks out and just
so episode 1 is already out. They can go check it out. You want everyone to go to King Cobra's men's group on YouTube.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the YouTube. I'll put, I think there's a link in the description as well. And when can you share any information on when the next episode is going to come out, or any information you can leak at all? Because I already got people asking me, hitting me up like,
we got somebody here right now, D Nice, who's also a filmmaker as well. He said, "Hey fellas, I'm late, but I'm loving the King Cobras web series."
There you go.
Awesome.
So that's dope.
Well, I appreciate everybody so very much for following. I mean, that, it's the subscribers that helps us be able to kind of build the brand and continue, making more. And so the more that you guys click on that subscribe and share with others and ask them to subscribe, it helps. Trust me, like that helps a lot. All creators, I'm sure you guys know, it's like, oh, hit the subscribe, hit the bell.
Yeah, we'll definitely pin the link so that way everybody who's listening, click on the link, subscribe. We're always talking about, especially as a parent, we talk about all the time, man, I wish there was clean material out there, material that we could just bring the family and have it enjoy and not have to worry about covering. These are the types of men that create projects like this. So if we don't support, if we don't go on their websites, if we don't, help in any way, shape we can't complain. We can't complain that there's nothing good out there if we don't support. So support these men of God. with prayer, also with subscribing and donations. If there's a link, is there a link to donate on your site?
We're gonna be setting it back up. We did have a PayPal link that when we were about to go into filming, we'll set that up again and we'll put that on that YouTube page. And just to answer, I wasn't skirting inside, ignoring your question, Marrio. We will be dropping episode 2 midweek next week.
Hey, awesome.
Okay.
We were talking about
some Chuleta.
I just found out. I didn't even know that the 15th of this month is Hispanic Heritage Month. The first day of Hispanic Heritage Month. I guess it's a new thing this year. So we figured, hey, it connects. So maybe we'll drop.
Say that one more time, because the music we had the Chuleta song playing in the background, and Mario was rudely putting the Chuleta song on. Not the one that on the movie, but we have a separate one that's kind of merengue a little bit. So what is the Spanish Heritage Month? Say that again.
I just found out. I didn't even know that this year. I guess the calendar has changed. I was scrolling through and I found out that on the 15th is the first day of Hispanic Heritage Month, and so we figured, hey, let's launch episode 2 to coincide with that. So you should be able to see episode 2.
So King Cobras, you guys heard it here.
Episode
2 is going to be releasing on what was the exact date number?
15th.
The 15th.
Yes, sir.
The 15th. Yeah.
And just maybe, Mario and Gil might be hanging around episode 2.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah,
because they got some empanadas.
They may come back.
We'll see what happens, man.
Diego and Carlito.
I'm looking forward to it. All right, brothers. Hey, listen, it was an honor to have you guys on. You guys are more than welcome to come on anytime. If you guys want to leave any last words for the audience, you have the stage.
Go ahead, Jonathan, if you have anything.
No, I'm just very thankful to be here, guys. I'm so blessed to be able to have you guys be a part of this. And I know that Sammy's back there. Thank you for letting your husband join us and give us this opportunity to, to share and tell the world kind of what we're doing. This is really, for one reason and one reason only, to preach the gospel, to let everyone know who the Lord is. Amen. And to give everyone the opportunity to experience that same blessing that we have. So I thank you for this. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I want to drop another shout out to Dan Rosario for introducing us.
Yes.
He said, you're going to love them. These are genuine men, genuinely great men. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. And then when I called literally from the just hearing your voice, I think it was Gil. I think I spoke to you first. I was like, oh, what a mighty man of valor. Yeah. And so
thank God.
That moment,
thank you, God.
Dan was smart. He was like, I'm going to give him Gil's number. Thank you, Dan.
Because he would have been like, I don't know. I called that Mario guy, but all I heard was rah, rah, rah.
Then he hung up on me.
And so I just hung up and assumed he wanted to roll. I don't know.
No, thank you guys, man. The feeling's mutual on our end, brother. We're excited about working alongside of you, and we're honored as well. I love how all the pieces came together to the point of, we're going to actually jump into one of our featured songs, which is Chuleta. Which
I got to shout out my wifey, too. She held it down so I could be part of this. So, love you, baby. I didn't forget about you. I know you were probably sitting on the couch like, he ain't even going to say nothing. He ain't even going to
Smart. Wise man. Wise man.
I am going to say something.
Look at that wisdom.
You, baby.
The wives are blessed.
Very wise.
They're the ones that really encourage us and keep us going.
I love
it. Yeah. Well, it was a men's group, so there were a lot of wives that were
right. Everybody's doing it.
All the wives.
Hey, so one guy buys flowers, everybody got to buy.
Yep.
Man, Gil, what are you doing, man?
When we hang up, you gotta sing to her.
All right, brothers, man. We love you. We're looking forward to building with you guys. Grace and peace. Here is Chuleta. You'll hear it on. Go check it out after this on episode 1.
Pioneers.
And subscribe. King Cobra's men's group. Here we go. Grace and peace, guys. We love you guys.
Love you guys too.
Dame la chuleta, es cierto. 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 Hey. Give me the middle go ahead and preach. Go ahead, Pastor, preach. Amen, amen, amen again. God is eternally never ends. No need for journals or pen and pens. Just give me the mic and I'll scatter gems. Somebody pass the Chuleta. I'm feeling the spirit like rapper. The enemy trying to test us. Don't let me go get the Chuleta. I'm telling you right now, if you wanna fight now, I'm ready as ever can be. But just understand, no need for these hands. My God will be fighting for me. Claro que sí. Dame la chuleta de cerdo, de la carne que me da alimento. Dame la chuleta de cerdo, en la carne que da fuerza a mi cuerpo. Dame la chuleta de cerdo, dame la chuleta de cerdo, dame la chuleta de cerdo, dame la chuleta de cerdo. Hey. Don't know how your people do it, I just couldn't do it. Living on café con leche like there's no substitute. There's so much more to it. I don't think you got it, let me take it from the top. Hey, hey, hey. When I'm looking in the word, all I feel is hueva. Just like coming home and smelling fresh seasoned chuleta. Para que tú lo sepas, yo no quiero leche y miel. With my stomach contenta, yo quiero chuleta. Chuleta de cerdo, en la carne que me da alimento. Dame la chuleta de cerdo, en la carne que da fuerza a mi cuerpo. Dame la chuleta de cerdo, 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 dame la chuleta que me da alimento, dame la chuleta de cerdo, dame la chuleta de cerdo.
That's good, bro.
Making me look all crazy, man, with that big old chuleta coming off my lip.
De cerdo. I
have to say, that chuleta was delicious.
Sing Gil's part, how'd it go?
That part was
Sing
delicious.
Gil's part.
No substitute.
Small as do it.
Dame la chuleta.
You know what I'm saying? That's fire track.
Sounds different without the auto-tune. No.
Oh, my wife, she said, I love you too. Oh.
Yo, they were dropping all kinds of fire, man.
Yeah, they were.
My goodness.
Crazy gems.
Gems after gems after gems. If you're a Christian filmmaker, you definitely want to check this out, man.
Yeah, for real. And episode 2, the 15th.
Episode 2 on the way.
El 15.
I you know what, when he started talking about the journey. Actually, should we share how our audition?
Why not?
You want to share the audition?
Yeah, let's do it. It's where the picture you saw Marrio rudely put up without my permission. I didn't sign off on that. Put me looking crazy biting a chuleta like that. I did not sign off on this.
All right,
we need to have group
try
meetings
to do this.
on photos that are going to be shared.
The audition
because I'm sure some ass wouldn't appreciate if you just put some crazy picture up. Like, he had some ass, but I'm sure the picture she had on one of the episodes was approved by her. Was it not? Was it not?
Audition.
You better admit it. You couldn't just take some random picture saying, you were like, I need to see this picture because you're going to put it on everywhere. People need to see there's my best foot forward. So make
Are you still talking about the Chuleta cover, bro?
Yeah.
Why you just let it go, man.
That piece of fat was from up here, bending my lip crazy, stretching it out over here.
Alone,
that thing looked like it was pizza. No, actually, it was a chuleta.
The best picture for that song.
It actually is.
All right, ready? Here we go.
I can't even argue that.
Hold on, let me see if I can.
Hey, gente, my name is Gil Vargas. I'm a singer and podcast host.
Hold on, my guys. Hold on. I know.
Just simply
this is the audition that got us
it's
the.
It's about the gospel.
It's actually
you
the
show yours
story.
too, right? You ain't gonna just
be
whack and just show
being
mine.
Latino,
Bro,
I mean,
I'm not even.
So
you don't hear anything yet, bro.
I
know you don't hear anything.
This massive and this impactful.
My bad, y'all. I'm like on the fly doing this.
Pork chop, or some would say.
So I'm gonna set it up the story so people know what's going on.
Why I think this should be essential.
Basically, they wanted us to submit a clip of us asking why we want the part, and we had to include a clip.
It's
just something we wanted.
It's culturally acceptable
in the video or whatever, something that we want.
Prepared something with
and Mario's just the wackest. produced by and basically he is super trash. He doesn't even know what he's doing.
Mario
I don't even understand if this dude is even appropriate to be on the show.
This is the audition, bro.
So why doesn't the show include your name in the title?
It's weird seeing me in.
Oh, I forgot.
I thought you were going to rewind it and play it again.
I don't know if I can.
You have to. Because this thing has been playing for a while.
It's not the story yet.
Gil Vargas.
Yes, but technically it's Mario.
Don't come to the
Live.
movies with us.
That's it.
What'd she say?
That's right.
My wife says she can't hear anything.
That's correct.
You can hear it now.
So in your show,
You can hear it
use a
now. I don't believe you.
sample from a song about pork chops. Is that right?
Oh yeah. You talking about the Chuleta track, right? Yeah. That's actually a song that we incorporate in our show. It's kind of like to bring the mood up, celebrate. You know what I mean? Lighten it up. It's cool. It's a dope element to the show.
Why Chuleta?
It's actually a funny story. A while back, Gil and I were preparing for one of our live episodes in the studio, and we both had a real long day. Gil had an hour drive. I figured he was hungry, so I asked him, "Hey, you want something to eat? I got some leftover chuletas in the fridge."
Bro, long ride, straight out of work, didn't stop nowhere, just came straight here to get on time.
Just
So
like
yeah, of course I'm hungry.
What a jerk.
It got awkward. Like, he kept staring at me.
Because that's not what
but
happened.
I assumed he didn't hear me, so I said it again.
This is what
Yes, I'm absolutely famished. Oh. So este hombre,
So polite.
this dude, gets up, he sucks his teeth, like he's some, hombre fuerte, like he's a tough guy, and then he walks away. Like, what's his problem?
He was the rude one.
I don't know.
So I get back to serve him his plate, and he just snatches the plate right out of my hands.
Facts.
Super disrespectful, and he's just eating the food, like giving me
Nasty.
this weird look on his face,
That don't
just
even look
staring
like
at
me.
me,
I'm gonna
grilling
play
me as
Chuleta
he's
again
eating
so
his
you can see
chuleta.
it.
I eventually let it go, and then he asked me,
Yo, who made this?
"My aunt did."
Like Tia Jackie?
Yeah.
She's kind of fly.
What?
I had to make
Now,
sure
what
I
would you
wasn't
do?
tripping. So I asked him, "I'm sorry, can you repeat yourself one more time?"
Yeah.
So I repeated myself. My apologies. Did I offend? I was simply stating that she is.
I don't know if the
divine
accent gives it away.
And an exemplary woman. So
exactly what I
this
was
dude stands up, takes the chuleta that
Can't
was
even
in
take
front
a
of
compliment.
us, winds it back, and he smacks me right across my face with a chuleta. A chuleta! A pork chop!
My podcasters have to go and see it.
What would Jesus do?
Yeah.
He would hit him with the meat of the word. So I did what a Christian brother would do.
Can I rewind?
I encourage.
Can I rewind? Can I?
Now you want to rewind.
I can rewind. Oh, I can rewind.
She's kind of fly.
You can
Ladies
rewind.
and
I had to
gentlemen,
make sure
I
I
can
wasn't tripping.
rewind.
So I asked him,
Rewind
"I'm
this
sorry,
part
can
where I
you
get
repeat
slapped in the
yourself
face
Hold on.
with pig's carcass.
Hold on. Watch this. Watch this,
Somehow
guy.
we can rewind now.
You gotta see this in slow mo. Oh, it is in slow-mo.
I was simply stating that she is divine.
He's celebrating how I was so kind to his aunt.
So this
and he
dude
smacks me.
stands up, takes the chuleta that was in front of us, winds it back, and he smacks me right across my face with a chuleta. A chuleta! A pork chop! A pig's carcass!
I thought, what would Jesus do? He would hit him with the meat of the word.
Oh!
So, I did what a Christian brother would do.
Eisegesis.
Respectful.
I encouraged him to think correctly.
Is that eisegesis or exegesis?
That was me being kind. And I got
And
rewarded.
that's the chuleta story.
And I got rewarded with a
Yo,
slap.
y'all who are with us live right now, that is not out there for anybody to see. So y'all got to enjoy that, man. That's what's up. Because y'all family. And podcasters, man. Sorry.
Yeah,
that part,
he did
you
say
gotta
that,
go
William.
back.
He
You
hit
gotta
me
go
with the
back.
meat of the word. Yes. Somehow.
Did you just say hit him with the meat of the word?
He hit me with the meat of the word.
Podcasters, listen. Gil gets smacked across the face in slow-mo with a pork chop.
And he made sure to have the pork chop come back into the picture and wiggle a little bit.
Look,
It
we
came
cooked-
back and wiggled.
Gil, didn't you cook those pork chops?
I did.
Didn't you eat?
And the whole time I was cooking it, I was looking at them as one of you were gonna assault me.
And if you're gonna,
one of you are going to assault me,
my bottom lip,
and I am going to enjoy eating every single last one of you.
How many cuts did we have to do on that one part?
I think it was like 3 or 4, and I was like, I think Marrio, we've got enough shots.
I was like, nah. At one time, there was no camera
My face
at all.
was starting to look like the
what is
pan
this?
I cooked them on. It was just blotches.
It was just
grease.
adobo. He had a cheek of adobo.
I was like, damn.
That's it. Grease and adobo.
Delicious.
Yeah, man. Wow, I'm delicious. Is that? Oh my!
After getting
goodness.
slapped 4 times with a well-seasoned chuleta.
If I didn't already name this episode "Men's Group," I would have named it "I'm Delicious." And it would have been a pork chop with your face photoshopped in the pork chop.
Oh boy, am I glad it's Men's Group.
Tasting your face.
I'm glad it's Men's Group. Man,
ain't I delicious?
I am delicious.
If there's no context to you saying that, my goodness, bro. People are gonna.
Oh dang!
I thought. Remember we used to get.
But then Marrio tried to get creative, and he was just like, "Wait, we need B-roll shots," and he was trying to get me shots of like my face getting hit on the other side, so for dramatic effect. I'm like, you can't trick me into getting slapped 4 more times.
I know how this works, Mario.
I'm like, dude, I know what this means. And like, no, we need B-roll. Like, that's not B-roll. First of all, B-roll would be the pork chop flying on the ground and flapping. Why do I got to get slapped 4 more times for B-roll?
And then you're like, don't you need an actual camera for this shot? And I'm just like, oh.
There was no camera in sight. You just wanted to slap me with the pork chop.
I was just sitting there with 2 pork chops.
It's like, it's for B-roll purposes. But none of it was filmed.
Just getting warmed up. Let's get warmed.
This is weird.
We got to connect first. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how we do for the podcast? You gotta.
You have to connect. I was connecting with pork chops.
You have to connect.
On a level that I never thought I would.
I felt like Bruce Lee with the pork chops. Like, bang, bang, bang. Yes. This is awesome.
Hence, dame la chuleta de cerdo.
Bang, bang.
Yeah.
That would be my weapon of choice.
Fun story. I think that song was written way before that skit.
Yo, actually, that song was written way before the
because I was about to say,
King Cobras.
You kind of really harnessed the vibe of "Give me the meat of the word I want to eat." Only I got slapped with the word that you were rapping about. With
dude,
rap.
the whole thing, the whole thing about that song. That song started from this show, from that story.
Yeah.
From this.
Yep. Which came from the story of the actual Chuleta.
Yes, which was based off of a real story.
That skit was based off a true story.
That's crazy.
It just wasn't so elaborate. He didn't actually get up and slap me with an entire Chuleta.
We need to go back and find more stories, man. Like, look how they unfold and get used. Like, this is, praise God.
Imagine we did a whole story on the Heelys.
Oh my goodness!
Do that.
Dame la Heelys.
Dame la Heelys. Why would it even have to be Hispanic?
I don't know.
Dame la Heelys.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Why? That makes no sense.
Why not? Drake does it back to back all the time.
I guess.
Drake released the same
Jamaican.
album, the last 3 albums.
He becomes Jamaican like every other year.
Why can't we do it? Kanye West is trying to pull everything he has out of his bag to stay relevant. I'm gonna do a visual album at my house.
I'm gonna make my
house. And Drake is just like rinse and repeat
in a baseball stadium.
Rinse and repeat. Drake is just chilling like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. Hey.
Oh, my girls just gave me a new description of myself. Gilgalicious.
Gilgalicious. I don't know what kind of code word. Listen,
I've never even heard of that.
Listen,
I'm Gilgalicious.
I don't know. This is a public platform.
Gilgalicious.
Oh my land.
Don't get me to try to chime in on your little Gil weird.
It's yes and.
I don't know what. No, that's where I draw.
Yes and it's
that is where I absolutely draw the line. No, there's no. What are they saying? You got to say something. You can't do that.
Go into it, yeah.
That's a cop out. What are you saying?
I don't know the words.
What are they saying? Don't do that.
I don't know.
Don't do that. You're an improv king. You're supposed to be
know the words.
Look what you just started, Leslie.
Yeah.
It's Gilgalicious. That's how you just
try to
drop
hold
a
it
bomb and leave. That's a dope grenade. And
He try to hold it down with mumbles.
It's Gilgalicious. I'll get away with it. I don't care. I'll still do it. I'll rock it.
You can't do that.
That's nasty.
Do you remember that one time you tried to get away with that when somebody asked you, put you on the spot, and they were like, "Yo, you know you a dance instructor, aren't you?" And you were like, "Yeah." You didn't think before you answered. Yeah. You were just ahead of yourself. You wanted an opportunity to shine. You were like, "Yeah." In a $20,000.
The thing is I thought the question was going to be create choreography, but that wasn't quite the question.
Gil, you're a dance instructor.
Make a
aren't you?
Dance.
Yeah,
like a popular dance. Like,
make a dance.
Like,
and the song was fried ice cream.
Yeah. Can somebody send a video in of what dance you would have created for the title Fried Ice Cream?
Bro, there's a camera crew there. There's a bunch of models everywhere. There's a bunch of artists all over, from Mass, Boss, everybody's
all
there.
The other dances
and
had
there's
like
Gil
a name.
in the middle of it. He was just in the background. He was just in the background chilling. And then somebody was like, "We got to come up with a dance." And then they were like, "Gil, you a dancer?"
I don't even remember what I created, but I had all those dumb people do it.
And Gil just real quick was just like, "Yes." They were like, "Come up to the front."
That's amazing.
Gil walked right up to the front. I'm like, "Oh,
as confident as
my
I can do this."
Gil, what are you doing? He had the whole club doing some weird dance.
Hey, don't put me on the spot
off
then.
the fly.
Don't put me on the spot then.
What were you doing?
I don't even remember the dance. All I know is I remember the girls were doing it.
I think he was like went down and went up. I think you did some kind of slide with your Heelys.
I don't know. I have Heelys. Do I always have Heelys in your memory?
You were like fried
everywhere. Apparently,
ice cream. I'm like, wait a
Mario's
minute.
entire memory of me is me. Like,
what was that? Is that the Michael Jackson Thriller? Fried ice cream.
Oh my
God. Bro.
I'm like, wait a minute. This looks familiar. And I'm like, this. Fried
bro, don't.
Ice cream. Fried. This is all original, guys.
This
all original.
This is, just because you said it, they were like, "Yes, let's do it." It went from a fried ice cream.
You ain't ready for this one, guys. You ain't ready for this one.
To straight Kill at the end.
Fried ice cream.
For some weird reason, for a fried ice cream song. At the end of the music video, you have the cat eyes and things. Like, what?
I was actually doing choreography at that time. So I was super confident. I'm like, and I like the song. Like, the fried ice cream song was actually a dope track. Like, it's a hip hop track. Bro. So I'm like, what? I'm gonna kill this.
You know how,
and then he's like, nah,
you know what
I don't want you to do choreography. I want you to make a dance. Like, it needs to be the fried ice cream dance. And in my head, I'm like, what? I'm gonna do churn ice cream. No, that'll be awkward. Quickly.
Ice cream.
Which one do I do? Do I pretend I'm in a fryer? Like,
yo, Gil.
I'm like, what
Gil
is
started
this?
thinking of ice cream and fried. Ice cream and
I'm
fried.
like, what dance do you do?
What
with
can
this?
I do?
I don't even remember what I did.
You scoop ice cream.
I'm like, scoop it up, put it in,
and you fry in a pan.
Fry it. Scoop it up, put it in, fry it. Fry it.
He had a whole bunch of models thinking this was hot.
They were like, ooh, I like this. This is nice.
This is a really cool dance.
Super nice. This is clever. What hip hopper guy did this? He's genius. This is way better than Soulja Boy. I don't know. Soulja Boy got nothing on this. Scoop it up, put it in, fry it.
Yo, you know what kind of memes they could go off for days? They could be cooking whatever, bro. That's fried eggs. That's that's empanadas.
I'm like, wow, this is a recipe for life.
Oh my goodness.
I can use this for everything. I don't know, man. I don't know what I created, but I know I had everybody doing it. And I wish I had I had video of this, because that would have been hilarious for us to play right now. See, all those people do that ridiculous dance.
What I found was more crazy than that, you on the fly doing this dance is the fact that everybody legit was buying right into it. I was the one bugging. I was like, why is everyone doing it? Wait a minute. Why is the artist excited? What is going on?
Yes.
I'm pouting in the back having to do it. Gil.
That's what I'm saying. Even the thugs.
No,
thugs was in the back. Like,
Yo, everybody had to do it. Like this dude, Gil, what has he got us doing?
Thugs were mad. Thugs was tight.
Oh man, yo, let's jump into our next track, man. Yo, let's jump into our next track, bro. You want to jump into our next track?
What is the next track?
Oh, cheeks, yo, for real.
Cheeks hurt.
It's not even a lie, man. I wish I could. We got stories like this.
That's crazy.
For days.
Actually, my cheeks hurt too.
And Gil, for some reason, like I'm the friend that's always like, Gil is put on the spot again. I'm that friend. I'm like the guy like, Gil, don't be in the spotlight, bro. Come on, come over here, man. Come over. Gil, where you going? No, Gil.
Showtime.
Gil, they're robbing a bank, bro. What are you doing? Can
you put me in a group?
No,
people,
Gil, they're robbing. He just walks along.
Sometimes
he's like, yeah, sure, I'll go. Like, no, they're robbing a bank, dude. What are you? I'll drive. Like, Gil, what are you?
Give me a few bags. Give me a few bags. Let me help out.
Put your hand down. It's like, I want to be a good store. No, that's not.
I want to be a good.
Who are you helping? I always have to be the guy like, Gil, where you going? Gil, no, go.
I would need to be a good steward.
And for some reason,
do you need a getaway car?
As we're walking out, Gil's always the guy at the spotlight goes, bing, everyone look. It's like, no.
It's not intentional. It's not intentional.
Well, I remember that one time when someone challenged you to sit on the drum set. And it was always random. It's like, how can you make this stuff up? And somebody's like, oh, somebody challenged you at the drum set, and you were like, all right, word, bet. And you sat down. And you straight murdered it. You were the drum player of the night, like the whole time. People were making requests. Like,
yeah, man.
Kid was just sitting there killing it.
I owe it to the Pentecostal days, man. That's like literally the only place that would allow me to play the drums. And it was usually after the church when everybody was like saying their goodbyes and trying to leave, and I just ran up to the drums as soon as everybody was done. It was like, I'm like, dang, at least I got 3 hits. And I would run.
That's because Gil was doing reggaeton in the church. He was like in the middle of.
I was that kid
in the middle of
that always got yelled at. My wife was like, yes. I'm sure she had a kid in her church that would do the same thing. Every service, at least one kid would do it.
What? That reggaeton beat on the drum set?
No, just the fact that every kid will book it to the drum set and just start playing on the drums. Every kid, especially if they wanted to learn. I always wanted to learn. I thought it was one of the coolest things ever. The drums was the coolest thing ever in church.
Until you sit there and you're like, man, you really got to be.
It's very, It
this is
a
like
long time to learn.
Patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time, kind of thing. Like
that's the hardest part.
Way more complex than that.
But the thing is, though, honestly, it's the same with every instrument, because when you're playing the guitar, this hand is doing a completely different pattern than this one. Yeah. Piano, your bass is a completely different pattern than the, I don't know what the regular keys. You're doing 2 different patterns, so it's like every instrument is kind of the same.
But then you also also have the foot pedals.
Yep, and the piano too. You have to know when to press the sustain
the note
and
or whatever,
and still be in key. Like so, you're still using different parts of your brain, like when you're playing the instruments, because there's so many different things going on, especially if you know how to read music. So now you're reading the music, processing those notes in your head and putting them onto the keys. Like that's, to me, still crazy to this day. When I see people do that, I'm like, how do you do that? Like you're reading these things, these lines.
Do you think the musicians feel that?
What do you mean?
What they're reading? Do you think they feel that emotionally?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I think they feel it better than we do. Because we're only hearing it.
Yep.
They're seeing it and it's going through them out to their fingers. So they already know the notes that's about to come. So they're like, this is about to murder y'all.
You think? Hold on.
Why do you think? You know why I know this?
Look at a sheet and you say, "Oh,
yes,"
and they start crying.
You know how I know this? You know how I know this?
They look at a music sheet.
This
and
is
they
gonna make
crying.
you laugh a little bit, but this is why. And when you hear this, you're gonna be like, "You're right." Notice how every time somebody's going in on the instrument, their face is as stank as can be. They're like.
You don't think that's because they're...
And you're like, why does their face look so crazy? Because they're so connected to everything they're playing, bro. Their soul is pouring out. So they know those notes that are coming that's just going to smack you in the chest.
Yo, so they're
no different than what we do with bars.
They're climbing up to those
bro.
moments.
You telling me Beethoven didn't know what he was doing when he was hitting to those crazy climax parts?
You know, no, he knew You know exactly what he was doing.
Imagine feeling that, like writing that down, those notes together, like, oh.
I feel like it's kind of schizo.
Hear this.
I feel like it's kind of schizo. Like, it's like, dude, maybe it's spot on to human emotion.
Come on, you do.
Maybe
you telling me when you write those lyrics, you're not like, oh.
But if you think about that, you're like, what you just did, Beethoven. Beethoven was crazy though.
Oh yeah,
because he would fit pockets of organization and everything complemented each other.
Facts.
Then all of a sudden it'll be like buzzing chaos.
Well, this dude was inspired by sounds in the wind.
That's crazy.
Like, he was listening to stuff that normal people were not listening to. He was like, oh, did you hear how that?
You know what I
played?
find fascinating? When nature responds to music and frequencies. They did a study on plants where they played classical music and these plants were like vineyard vines, you know, the vines that grow up on the buildings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the vines started growing and wrapping around the speakers that were playing classical music.
Oh, they're drawn to the music.
They were drawn to the music, and they actually like wrapped around the speaker.
That's amazing.
And then they played, I don't know what it was, like metal or whatever. I don't know what it was. They played something like more disruptive, more chaotic, and not as organized. And the vines actually grew away from it. They were trying to get away from the sound.
Dang.
Can you imagine?
Want to know if your music is good? Put plant in it. play your music for a plant, and if it dies, scrap it.
If it gets up and walks away, just quit.
Quit. You're a genius.
If the plant gets up and walks away, picks up his pot like a dress.
My!
I am out of here. What kind of garbage?
Ears.
Like, oh,
like, wait a minute. You don't even have ears.
Covers its ears, bro. If your plant picks up its grass dress and covers its ears. You should quit.
Dang.
All right, we're gonna jump.
Oh no, my wife clarified. It was just that she was saying yes to me being in everything. Yes.
Oh, there you go.
That's true.
Shout out to wife.
Yes.
Yes. That's usually what I say when they ask me to be in something. Would you like to be in this? Yes.
All right, y'all. We're gonna jump into our feature track. This is BigBreeze, Holy Stiff, featuring Parris, Chariz.
Wow,
here we go.
That's spicy.
About the glory, don't talk to me. Pain hurting, running deep in my arteries. I've been fighting all these demons, they calling me God with me. Gotta keep them a part of me. I've been calling out the name like Jehovah. Praying daily, trying to find me some closure. Staying focused, trying to run on my credit. I ain't perfect, so I gotta repent it. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, if it ain't about the glory, talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, if it ain't about the, I had to tie my shoes. I'm finna do the whole race. Sit back and watch how I move. I'm finna take you to school. God, he just blame me cause I am a servant, but I'm not living too perfect. Told me stay humble and see how this purpose, but it get hard when I'm hurt. It be hard. Lately I been in my bag, trying hard not to crash. Temptation creeping on my back. I just pray and keep me holy. To the people who don't know me, I'm just trying to save my soul. And the people who belong, and the people right before. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. Pain hurting, running deep in my arteries. I've been fighting all these demons, they calling me God with me. Gotta keep them a part of me. I've been calling out the name like Jehovah. Praying daily, trying to find me some closure. Staying focused, trying to run on my credit. I ain't perfect, so I gotta repent it. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, if it ain't about the glory, talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, if it ain't about the, yeah, I've been moving with the ghost, so come walk with me. If it ain't about the money, stop calling me. I don't mean it, I'm just tired of the struggle. Left the street, but still gon' find me a hustle. Hit my line if it was ever some trouble. Speak the truth and no more making it subtle. Make a million and we making it double. If they around me, they bubbling. If I was honest, this is tough for me. They tryna ride the wave in the shuttling. I promise God I would never bring this up again. I needed grace for the shade. They won't stop for a wave. I look God in the face, had to ask why I feel this pain. He said, cause I did it my way.
If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. Pain hurting, running deep in my arteries. I've been fighting all these demons, they calling me God with me. Gotta keep them a part of me. I've been calling out and they like Jehovah. Praying daily, trying to find me some closure. They ain't focused, trying to run on my credit. I ain't perfect, so I gotta repent it.
If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, don't talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, if it ain't about the glory, talk to me. If it ain't about the glory, if it ain't about the...
Yeah.
Shout out to BigBreeze.
That song's crazy vibes.
That song is crazy vibes, man.
Crazy vibes.
Tubular.
The vibes.
We have BigBreeze, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He stays focused doing his thing.
I think the song that he had when we interviewed him was that out down when they get it up. When the church.
He's definitely an artist who minds his business, right?
That song is ill.
He just keeps staying consistent, putting stuff out.
He's definitely hardworking. He's always got new tracks coming out constantly.
And he's fire. He's always trying to master his craft.
So, CHH has been like on fire.
Go ahead, brother.
There's been a lot of
Gil keeping his ears to the street. First of all, you came back from a dope trip.
I did.
Was unplugged.
Did you get the video? Did you actually be able to have it?
I mean, I can pull it up, man. Go ahead. You explain the story.
So yeah, me and family went out to. This sounds like a robot. I won't put it.
Go ahead.
So yeah, me and family went out to New Hampshire to like the mountains, like deep in the mountains. It was so fire. It was so.
You
dope.
emailed it to me?
I did through the Marrio Esco Gmail. It's like a WeTransfer.
I don't got it.
Really? That's super trash.
I'm sorry, bro. What did you send it from Gil?
Yeah.
Your Gil Vargas? Are you sure you sent it?
I'm positive. Double check, but pretty sure I sent it because it said like it downloaded the whole thing. And once it downloads the whole thing, because it's a big file, so. But yeah, we went to New Hampshire, and it's such a dope experience because you really get to see some stuff that you're just not accustomed to seeing, like the mountains and valleys and these just beautiful cliffs and lakes surrounded by mountains. Like it's straight up something that you see in magazines, man. Like it is breathtaking. The cool thing about it too is because I know you were saying like, yo, get unplugged. Dude, you don't even have a choice.
You can't even,
because there's no reception.
Yeah,
it's like you're in the mountains, bro.
Forces you to disconnect.
So even if you wanted to like stay hip, you can't. Like there's nothing. You try to refresh everything, and it just stays with the wheel. So yeah, man, I was able to really connect and be with the fam and really like enjoy them. And we went to the lake. It was crazy. It was like in the
middle of the mountains.
Yeah, it's called Echo Lake. I'm sure if people have been there, they know what I'm talking about. It's so beautiful. Went to this place called Cathedral's Ledge. Crazy. You get to you drive up the mountain, and then once you get to the parking area, it's literally like a couple minutes, and you're like at a ledge, seeing a vast just
creation,
land, bro.
Man.
Just creation. It's so breathtaking because it makes you really remember how small you are in the grand scheme of things. Like you are finite. You're nothing. You're like a breath of air. And just being there, it just kind of helps you unplug and really focus on what matters. But yeah, that was fire. Then they had another place that was the craziest thing I've ever experienced, which was Mount Washington Auto Road. And you basically is one of the few mountains that you can literally drive up to the summit, like drive up all the way to the top. It's like 8 miles up, and you just go straight. And there's points, man, where you get to the edge and you just see just down, just nothing but just miles of trees, like just a couple centimeters too far. You don't not paying attention, and you just you're going. But I think once you get to that level, you're just like a soldier. Your eyes, you're always like, whatever, man. You 10 and 2 on this. You are 10 and 2. You measuring with rulers. Like, I make sure my elbows don't get caught. Shoulders.
And there's an actual spot on the top of the mountain.
Yeah, if you can make it to all the way to the top, because there's
clouds.
A lot of factors. You have to go when there's little wind and clouds, because if you go up there and it's super cloudy, you're not going to see anything anyway. So for us today, it was 60-mile-an-hour winds and cloudy. So we were like, so we're going to go up for the experience, because once you get to the top, we won't see nothing.
So how do you drive up there then?
Once you get to a certain point, yeah, you go through it. Like, you go through the clouds.
What do you mean? You don't see anything, though.
No, you can. It's not like... It's almost like fog. It's almost like you see San Diego and you go there and you're like, "Dag, look at all this smog," and then you get in there and you don't really see it anymore.
I've never
so you go through it.
That.
You did. You went to Cali.
Yeah, but I never drove through smog. Well,
you wouldn't.
I was like, "Hey, look, the smog is over there. Let me drive through it."
Well, no, that's the thing, is that you don't really experience it. You can see it from far. Like, if you look far and look at the city, you see the smog. But when you're in it,
is it like fog?
No,
it's different than fog.
It's different. At
really,
least from what I was explained, I didn't get to go that far. We went halfway because it was so windy.
Thicker than fog?
I don't think so. No, it's a cloud, bro. So it's like you just drive through
I never drove through a cloud, bro. You talking to me like, dude, it's a cloud. You never drove through a cloud.
No,
I never.
You obviously have not.
I never experienced.
You you uncultured baboon. You have not gone through clouds.
What is wrong with you?
Jeez, you don't know the meaning of life. No, but honestly, though, it's crazy. We didn't get to go through the clouds, so I don't even know what that experience is like. All I know is that when we got to halfway, it was 4 miles up. That was crazy. Like, the view was insane. That's in the video that I sent. That
and
unfortunately
it's 9 miles to the top?
No, 8. 8 miles.
Oh,
so we went halfway. And we stopped, and there was like a pull-off area, because there's like a pull-off area after every few miles, like maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles. You get another pull off where you can go, and there's like a cliff and you can just see, or you could just keep going all the way to the top. So we got to our first pull off that was like at the highest, which was at 4 miles in. So we get there, we pull off, and we go to the edge, and I'm like, what? This is insane. And we're not even all the way to the top. Then we saw a couple, and the couple was like, yeah, we went to the top, but the wind was so strong that it could knock you over. Like, if you're not paying attention and you're not bracing yourself when that wind gust comes, it'll just knock you over. So I'm like, I'm not bringing my kids up there.
That's scary.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, if they're grown adults, big adults, and they said they can get knocked over if you're not paying attention, my kids are just going to be like, rock! Gone.
That's
so
scary,
I'm like,
bro.
nah, I ain't going up there. So we ended up turning around, but where we were was breathtaking, man. We took video, we took pictures, and I'm not that scared of heights, to be honest with you, but there was moments when you're driving and you look over and you're like, woo, that's high.
Yeah.
That's unnaturally high. Like, and I'm in a van. That's unnaturally high for a van. I just don't even feel right. But, so we just turned back around, and it was a dope experience either way, man. It was super, super dope. I can't wait to go back and be able to do the research to
Who was the one, you or wifey, that made the decision?
We both, because we had the kids. The couple was like, you can get blown over. And I'm like, heck no. I'm like, why would I want to put my kids in that kind of danger?
So how did you bring it up with wifey? Because you guys were on your way
We
up.
looked at each other. We was like...
Oh, when you heard it right then and there?
Yeah. After they said that, we were like, nah. Yeah, that's just the seal. I'm like, nah,
let's
turn around. That. I wanted to go up and at least just kind of drive through, but after they were like, the wind was so strong they could blow you over, I was like,
forget it.
Nah. And they were like, it's 60 mile an hour. I was like, that's like a small hurricane.
Yo, for real. Just a little video, the video clip that you had halfway up.
Yo, and my hoodie was like, boom,
yeah,
flying off at certain points, and I had to like hold it. So I can only imagine, and we're only halfway up, and the winds are this strong. This is crazy. So I was like, yeah, let's just be out. And the roads are narrow. I know the video, Samaras was just like, that's not that bad. It's completely different when you're like at the edge, and all you see is just trees, and there's a car coming. All you see is trees, and you're just like, oh my gosh,
bro.
And there's a car coming, and you're sharing the road, and it's not a road where you could just be like,
if Sammy's driving, that's
there is no road. Like it's just full.
Sammy's the kind that'll be driving right up on the mountain, like just like what is it?
You know how there's trees coming out like sometimes on this cliff. Should be on the
should be driving that thing like it has legs and stuff, walking up ladders. How's the van climbing stairs?
Like, ma'am, your van is not a horse. And she's like in the van, like, come on, get up, you can do it. Man, why are you slapping your van?
Wow. Come on,
why
Bertha.
Is your leg out with spurs?
Come on, Bertha.
Get up there, Bertha. You can do it.
Come on.
Like, why do you have a saddle in the front seat, ma'am?
It doesn't make sense because the van is actually acting like a horse.
The van is galloping.
Wait a minute.
Somehow the tongue's coming out. She's riding me hard.
getting water. Like, wait a minute. How does this car? What's your van run off of? Water and
this man's just looking at everyone. 2008. It needs water. Sorry, we don't have a new one.
It's a Buick. No,
we don't have a new one like you guys.
I wish it was a 2008.
And then she looks over. She's like, "You have a Ram?" And somebody's on
it's
a real.
1984.
Somebody's
guys.
on a real Ram.
Leave me alone.
You're such a jerk.
Oh man.
Every now and then I got to rebuild the engine. No big deal.
What's an oil change look like?
Yeah.
Man. I don't know where we went.
Wait, first of all, you just said a story where the van came alive and she was galloping. I know. In the van, okay? Jeez. It's a 1984. What do you want me to do?
What do you want me to do? They're bound to their nature. What kind of nature is that?
People are still looking at it like, what kind of Toyota, guys? She should have got a Tesla.
She should.
Wow.
She should have bought a Honda. Sorry.
Sorry. Yo, not to go off that joke, man. Though, because you know they should have bought a Honda, but I got a Kia. Kia is actually killing the game right now. They even redid their logo.
Wow,
where their logo is like, no, look at their cars, bro. They are changing the game. They used to be known as like, you got a cheapy Trackers, you got a Kia. Aw, you couldn't afford a Toyota.
That's true.
Now
you think of IKEA, like
for real, but now
you put your car together.
Yo, if you're in a Kia, bro, you actually killing the game right now, bro. They redid their logo, so their logo isn't like anymore. Look at their logo now. Look at the truck.
Wow,
does that look like a Kia to you, dude?
They just realized, you know what they said? They said, just make it look nice. Just make it look nice.
This is Kia.
Let's get a bunch of plastic, make it look dope.
Nice.
Make it look like a Tesla.
Yo, they are killing the game, man. I'm not lying. I saw a few of them out there. Look at this truck.
Wow.
Killing the game. And look at it. They're going in the mountain. That's how they advertise it. That's exactly what I saw out there. A bunch of Kias. I was like, wow, this is like becoming a thing.
Hey, babe, get me a Kia.
Yeah, don't get a Honda. You should have bought a Honda.
And then we can drive through the clouds.
You can drive through the clouds.
And a Kia actually gets picked up by the wind. Wow, there goes the Kia. Gil said to buy a Kia. There it goes. Gone in the wind. Now the Kia's acting like a bird.
What'd you get? He got a Kia.
He got a Kia. Dives down
into the sunset.
Dives down, catches a fish.
Oh, you got a Honda? You should have bought a car. Official car of Bald Eagles.
Yep. Somehow the back tires are holding on to like a rodent or something.
What?
So like caught a rodent. Like
the car has a rodent. Gotta keep it consistent. Gotta keep it consistent.
I'm gonna wipe my tears.
Dang, the things we go, man. Nah, but for real, man, it was dope, man. It was a good time. Oh, there's another place called Echo Lake, man. If you guys ever get a chance,
that lake in the mountains
is crazy. Like I'm telling you, it looks like a movie scene. For real, like a fairy tale movie scene. Because you're surrounded by mountains. The water's like this cool green. Like not a nasty green where you look at it like and you're like, ugh. But it's like a green that's like, I don't know how to describe it. But if you look at a picture, Google like Echo Lake in New Hampshire and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just beautiful, man. Beautiful.
I bet, bro.
One thing that I regret that I saw people do that I was like, that is fire, is they got like a tube and it had fit 2 people and it had like a built-in cooler. It's a lake. So they put in their drinks, whatever they wanted. They both sat down and they just floated away. I was like, that is fire.
I don't know why.
I'm still dying to do that with
I have no idea why, but when you say lake, mountains, and then you just gave me that visual of a couple drifting off in this lake in between the mountains.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but my mind says set up for horror film. I have no idea why.
And my
mind says something is in that lake, man.
It's not like that.
They are gonna get
the only thing that might come up is literally
this monster.
Okay, I wanted to do it, and now he just killed it.
I'm telling you right now, the only thing that you might see come up out of that water is the Jolly Green Giant going, ha ha ha! It's delicious, and you're like, yeah. It's magical, bro. Like it's not. You may see the Jack and the Beanstalk throw a bean, and it might go into the sky. And he's just climbing up, and he's just like, yeah.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful,
dude. It's crazy.
Did we go to Echo Lake?
Crazy.
Was that the one we went to?
Yeah.
So we went
apparently,
there.
I was there by myself.
You went. Oh, you went to Echo Lake, and you don't even remember it.
No, I remember the lake in between the mountains.
He's like, that must have been beautiful.
No,
honey, we were there last week. Wow.
I got swallowed up by the Loch Ness Monster in there. There was a monster in that lake. I remember
That's why I didn't enjoy it.
That's what it was.
Wait a minute. Then who the heck are you?
What? Okay.
Yo, I'm telling you right now.
How do I yes and that?
My brain I pictured all of us just kind of just chilling.
It's like, what do I
just chilling in the lake. You know what I mean? Just floating, even with our kids.
Where are we going with this?
Because
my head is we're about to get swallowed up by this
They had the rentals, like kayaks. They had tubes.
I didn't see that.
When we went there.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that. I do remember that. They did have rentals.
Your testimony is unworthy.
Yep.
Oh, I do remember.
You
can say anything. She's like, oh yeah, they also sold cars. We bought a car.
That mystical Irish artist was there.
Yeah, it was totally
the mystical Irish artist was there.
Oh,
yep.
Was who
playing the violin? Walking on the water. Wow. There was a dragon in the background.
Sasquatch. No. There's some pictures of Sasquatch. It's like, yeah, you don't remember that, babe?
Yo,
I feel like we went on 2 different vacations.
We over our time, man. Yo,
that stinks that you didn't get the video, man. It makes me sad.
That's all right, man. Send it.
We'll watch it next week, guys.
We had a lot of content today, anyway.
We did.
All right, cool, man.
Filled you guys up, huh?
Definitely go check out. If you guys are just jumping in, definitely go check out the first half of the show. We had Xavier and Jonathan Garcia in, filmmakers of King Cobra's men's group. You can check that out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yours truly are up in there, me and Gil.
In the upcoming episodes, we are more present. I swear it's not just that one little part.
Yeah, in and out, yeah. You'll be able to see our acting skills.
They actually did cast us for the show. It wasn't just, hey, can you
come
in here,
crazy.
ask for fruit and leave?
It gets kind of crazy. Actually, now that I'm thinking about some of these...
Trust me, it gets interesting.
Some of these lines we drop. Oh, man.
It gets out there.
Yeah. I'm excited about it.
Crazy.
Episode 2 drops on the 15th.
Yep.
That's next week?
We drop.
Check it out.
That's next week?
We're on the 7th right now, so yeah.
Cool. Next Wednesday is the 15th. So be on the lookout for that if you haven't subscribed to that. And we love y'all, man. I don't know. I'm getting sentimental on them. I'm running out of steam, y'all. I'm like,
really?
I'm like getting soft on them. I love y'all.
Let me help you. Shut up.
It's a blessing. Hold up. You can help me here. See,
there you go.
If I just sample all of your good takes, then I could just control,
Thanks.
Yeah.
So the next one is shut up.
No, I'll remove it.
Record that one.
Get out of it. You're the best from Gil. Just like
you're the best around.
Can you imagine an app just like good, like when you wake up in the morning, you play like good sayings or good quotes from Gil. You just like every morning, like you're like, all right, 20 minutes of Gil. Just like,
that's fire.
Coaching you on in life.
Yo, that's fire.
You are great. You are awesome. Just like, keep going.
Dame
yes,
la chuleta.
You can. All right, y'all. Listen, that's our time. We love y'all. Till next week. Grace and peace. I hope you guys had a good time. Anything else, bro? You want to let them know? Chuleta. Chuleta will be available. I'll try to make it available before the week is over on d2lproductions.com.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll figure out what we're going to do moving forward with the track. But if you haven't heard Chuleta, go check that out too. It's in the episode as well.
Yeah.
So till next week, we love y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Nos vemos.
Grace and peace. Latest.